Hello, 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 my absolutely brilliant and beautiful astrology soulmates. How are you doing? It's me, Stormy Grace. I hope you are fantastic. I really do. I hope that you are fantastic out there today. And today we are going to do our weekly horoscope live. And I'm going to tell you what, it has been a day. It's been a day, friends. I'm in the heart of some Mercury retrograde along with you. And this will be my third attempt at doing the weekly. So I really, with everything in me right now, am hoping that you're even honestly seeing me. I'm going to pull us up on the phone just to make sure we're living our best lives out here together. But lots of love going into this week. Lots of love for you wherever you're at, what you're doing, what you're going through. And I have to tell you, the cosmos this week speak of something absolutely, absolutely beautiful. There is opportunity, there is possibility that is available this week, and I can't wait to talk about it. We've got Venus on her first day back out of retrograde. The Sun and Mercury are going to come into Cazimi. Jupiter is retrograde this week, which is fantastic because it is actually very, very helpful, and we'll have the Sun and Jupiter coming together as well. So a lot of energy that is available, but I want to start this message out with two things. One, really, my message for the week coming from the cosmos is you are doing well. You are doing well. This is not the time to give up. It is simply the time to readjust and to ask some questions. A lot of philosophy has been changing. You're doing well. Keep going. Okay. And the other thing is, I'm really excited to tell you guys, I've got a webinar coming up September 23rd just for us. And this one, we're going to get into the nitty gritty of looking at interdependence. Interdependence. We've got the South Node traveling through the energy of Libra. We've got the North Node traveling through the energy of Aries, where we have the possibilities to be looking at codependency and codependent or guilt or shame positions that we've been working within our lives. We've also got at the North Node, where sometimes people really do the North Node very well, and we get hyper independence. So we really are looking to, in the opposition of the Libra and the Aries axes, to find that sweet spot in the middle, and that sweet spot is interdependence. So I hope that you will join me September 23rd. I've also got a 36 question workbook for you to go through, and it will be free to you when you join the webinar to see where you're at with these lessons in your life, and honestly to ask these questions about how you're showing up, because it's really great to hear about, oh, this could be the time for you to rise to your Aries power. But if you're too high in the Aries power, or you don't know where you're sitting in the Libra axis, it's really not as useful. So I would like this to be practical and be very, very useful to each of you. So join me. The link is in the description box down below. As well, it is almost time for Stormy Grace's birthday. So the birthday packages are available now, and it is my Astrology Insights coaching package. It's 4 sessions on sale for half off right now in the description box down below. You get 2 60s and 2 30s to take you through the year, get some strategy that we will build together around what you want to experience and where those energies are at for you for the year. Everything's in the description box down below. Okay, my absolutely beautiful friends, let's get into the week of September 4th. And like I said, I love it. It is Venus's first week back at the job, first day after this gorgeous retrograde time. Now, as Venus has been traveling through this retrograde time in the energy of Leo, first of all, please share with me. Let me know in the chat, in the comment section down below, what revelations you have had, especially about what you actually and really value. Like, what is your voice? What is where you're willing to be loyal to it? And it is what you value at this particular time. Let me know what that is and where that's showing up for you in your life and in your world. Okay, I know that for me, one of the big things I found out with the Venus retrograde is how incredibly creative I am in my own way, right? In what I needed to do, what I found value in, where I needed to speak up and speak out. So these were gifts and goals and things like that coming out of hiding. And that is something that Venus left us in this retrograde energy. But also this idea of having the courage to get out of our own way, right? To get out of our own way, to have this experience with the creativity that has been left for us. Now, I really love this as we're coming into Monday, and we're going to see that we've got Mercury, who is retrograde, coming into a trine with Jupiter, who is going to go retrograde. Okay, and so this is just happening just a little bit before. So what we're going to see in this particular arrangement, and considering that all of this is squaring that Venus retrograde in Leo energy that we've been experiencing, is we have the opportunity to really come at whatever you have been working on, whatever you've been reviewing from a completely different perspective. Because with Mercury retrograde, this is the planet of the mind. So we're looking backwards, we're analyzing, we're reassessing backwards. Okay, what decisions, what learning do I need to do? What information do I need to gather? And at this time, squaring that Leo energy, what the question really is here is, okay, what do I need to do, talk about, reassess, re-edit, reinvigorate that I've got already? I already have it. I just need to be discerning about it. And it is because it is in alignment with this new value that I found that I have. Because think about this too. When we think about the Aquarian side of things, right, opposite of this Leo energy, we have Pluto touch into the energy of Aquarius. So it gave all of us globally this boom, this pop of, you don't get to be in control of this. This is coming. This is changing. This is moving forward. And what was a very noticeable piece of that was, first of all, there were structures of work and living that no longer worked for people globally anymore, right? But also the technology was really going to be coming to the surface, and not everyone was prepared for that. Not everyone is prepared for that integration of this level of technology. So we see that opposing Venus in Leo, where it's going, oh man, what do I do? What do I have? What do I value? So as Venus is over here in Leo, and then we get this square from this wonderful trine between Mercury and Jupiter, we go, well, wait a minute, what I value, or what value I carry, is that I know how to do this. I know how to help another person do that. I have this skill. I'm interested in this, so I can go this way. I'm interested in this, so I can let a teacher, Jupiter in Taurus, come into my life and help me discern what it is that I need to do to be successful with what it is that I'm growing. And I love this because with this Mercury Jupiter trine, you can feel success, where it's like maybe you haven't landed exactly where you want to be just yet. But this is where I would tell you, this isn't the end. This is not the end. Keep going. Just be discerning, and also look back. Where have you been successful in what you have tried, what you've been building, what you've been working on, what you've been reviewing? Remember to look for where you can feel the success as well, because it's very easy to only see what's not going right, as opposed to also being able to take this perspective, whoop, flip your brain around like that Mercury retrograde and say, well, here's what I've already done very well. Here's what went well for me. Here's what is going well for me. Now, just a little bit later, we see Jupiter turn retrograde in the energy of Taurus, and Jupiter is going to, it's not uncommon. Jupiter goes retrograde, every year at this time. So it's not uncommon, but this is just the retrograde time. So as we see Jupiter go retrograde, this is where I'm saying I think it is really very helpful for us, because whatever plans, designs, things that you were taking on, whatever you've been building, it's likely been very big, right? Or bigger than you, or bigger than you can currently understand. A lot of information and the big picture of things. And as Jupiter goes retrograde, we get the opportunity to reassess the plan and the mission. Okay, I can trim the fat here. I've sifted through these things. That's not really in alignment with my values anymore, so I can get ready to let that go. This really makes sense to me, but there's a lot of information, and I need to trim the fat around it, bring some of the excess down to size. Now you're going to want to watch your chart between 15 degrees of Taurus and 5 degrees of Taurus, because that's where Jupiter is going to take this particular retrograde. Now, of course, it is also retrograding in Taurus. So looking at things around finance and how you finance your life. Looking at things about relationships, the relationships that you are connected to, your finances, to your relationships, does how you value yourself and what you have to offer need to be restructured. And I think that that's a really good question too, in terms of valuing yourself, because again, the whole world, we got put on notice that the world is changing. So we better start learning to be resources with, to, of, for, and through each other, right? So this is something that is going to call you out if you've been hiding in the back to say, okay, let's restructure how you value yourself. And just as much, if you're someone who's been happy to be out there, you may have to restructure the relationships you're connected to help you continue to be successful, but you see it. Your intuition is on. It is here. It is strong. On Monday, the moon is in Taurus. That sits in a wonderful connection to all of this Pisces vibration. It sits in wonderful connection to the Virgo vibration. So what you're doing in the material world is sound. It just might not be there just yet, but don't give up. Stay where you're at, just reassess what this needs to look like and get out of your own way. What do you need to do to get out of your own way? What are you doing, thinking, believing, actions you're taking that have maybe been ingrained in you for a very long time? What are the beliefs that came from society that are not actually yours anymore? And they're getting a restructuring. Are you teachable? Jupiter retrograde is a great time to ask yourself that question. Am I teachable? Am I coachable? Am I green enough to still learn from another human being? And one of the things my spiritual teacher always tells me is, she's like, wherever you're at in your growth path, that's fine. I will love you and I will meet you there. And I can offer you my counsel and my suggestion. But you don't need to come and sit and have coffee with me if you're just going to do it your own way. You don't need my help to do it your way. So this is a great question. Am I teachable? Do I want help to do it a different way? Or am I going to want to do something a different way, but I'm going to still try and force how I do it, even though I've proven that's not working? And the other side of that is, are you forgetting you're an inspiration and you are a resource in this world? And you may, what you have, what you've been through, what you've survived, can be restructured into something that maybe helps someone avoid deep pain or helps them walk through it. You can be an inspiration as well. So this is something I think that is really, it's very vibrant to consider as we're traveling on Monday. Now, after that, we're going to see the moon move into the position of some void of course energy, which is good because we're going to do a little bit of a rest, just a small rest, a small nap, before the moon actually gets into the energy of Gemini. So enjoy a little bit of this void of course time. But then as the moon moves into the energy of Gemini, some things to think about. First of all, the ruling planet of this moon is retrograde and it is in domicile in Virgo. So it's other home placement, okay? But it is retrograde. So one of the things that I think that this is asking us to do is in the moon, in the body, in the heart, and in what's deep and personal and true for you, is to, first of all, be discerning. Be discerning. Be discerning, be specific with what it is that you need, that you want, the plans that you're making, the words that you're speaking, your health and mental fitness and wellness, what's going on up here. The way that we communicate is connected to what we're building and what we're changing and what we're speaking. And this is something that I don't think it's just like, just use positive words all the time. Sometimes we have to journal, we have to meditate, we have to do punching bag therapy and say things out loud. And that's the way that the moon in Gemini gets a rinse, because the moon in Gemini is in an air sign. So how you're feeling for this next couple of days may come through where you're thinking about how you're feeling and you've got to do something, say something to actualize it outside of you. And that is totally fine as long as we're not doing harm to other people, of course. But the other thing that I think is really cool about this moon being particularly in Gemini is for you to check in on connections, contracts, and decisions that you no longer need. If you don't need them anymore, let's look at emotionally, if you clear yourself, if you're like, yeah, I need to kind of be doing my own thing, or this is not the right fit, can you emotionally create some freedom by letting it go? Okay, on Wednesday, we're going to see that the Sun and Mercury come together, and we call this cazimi. And I just think that's a fantastic word in the first place. But as the Sun and Mercury come together here, the Sun illuminates the brilliance of the fresh ideas and perspectives that Mercury is bringing to the table. Mercury is retrograde at this time, so what you are looking back on, the Sun realizes that it's good news, it's bringing you clarity, it's bringing you focus to say, yes, you probably don't need to keep doing that, right? Mercury is in Virgo, it's discerning. Yes, that if you do that thing, that would make this area a little bit more healthy. Yes, that is wonderful, discerning. Oh, that would be a great way for you to be of service. You're right. So it's like you're taking your clothes out of your little chest and you're like, should I keep this shirt? And the Sun is like, think that one's necessarily great. Does that help you do what you want to do? And you're like, you're right. If I want to go skiing, I should not wear a bikini shirt. And you put it in the next basket, but you pull out another one that you're like, oh God, I don't even know if this fits anymore. And the Sun is like, that's fantastic. Listen, I have a vision, right? So you kind of have this conversation of support, and the things you're thinking that are focused, concentrated, and in the greatest good are really, really well illuminated. So take advantage of this particular day. And if you did need to have an important conversation or do something like that, it's likely on you have fresh perspective on old things. This would be a good day to definitely make that happen. Okay. Now, when we get to Thursday, we're going to be carrying this energy all the way through. So we will have another little void, of course, on Thursday. And then Friday brings us into the moon in domicile and the energy of Cancer. So the moon and the energy of Cancer, once a month opportunity for you to check in on the Cancer area of your chart. So what house does this rule for you? Do you have planets, points, angles here? Do you have Cancer placements in your progressed chart? One of the other things that I would love for you to keep in mind and consider as you're listening to mine or any other astrology that you follow is that what natal lunar phase were you born under? Because that gives you an idea of this kind of default setting of how you're made. So when you're me say, oh, the energy is good and it's fast and you could get a quick win here, or this is great for this. If you're not naturally made at a certain speed or vibration, the way to interpret every single one of these transits is going to be a little bit different. Now, just beyond that as well, I would love for you to consider, where are you at in your progressed lunar phase? Because this is really important. Each of us goes through a personal winter, spring, summer, and fall. So if you're hearing someone's forecast and they're like, now is not the time to push, or now is the time to go, and you're in like a personal winter where your energy is moving the slowest, you want to actualize these transit, these successes, these times with the moon very differently than someone who is in their spring or their summer. So I've got two classes actually about finding these, or you can just go research that in and of yourself, but it will make all of the difference with everything you're doing with your astrology if you will check this out and you will learn it and understand how to work with that, okay? That brings me to the Sun coming into this gorgeous trine with Jupiter. It is a phenomenal aspect because it is go for the win, go for the gold, is that kind of energy. Now, the Sun is bringing that light, heat, life, and motivation. Jupiter has just gone retrograde, so it's in the beginning of its reviewing phase. It's in the beginning of its wisdom phase as well. So this is where I would tell you, with all of the discernment and empowerment and clarity that has been brought to you about look at where you've been successful so far. What's going right? It might not be exactly what you want it to be yet, but what's going right? This is an opportunity to look at that. And from that position, where can you say yes to the next opportunity to help you be successful and move forward? The Sun and Jupiter welcomes in an ease and a flow. And remember, Jupiter's in Taurus, so we're practicing receptive qualities here. Receptive. I receive, but I have to make space and participate in being willing to let something also come to me or go with some ease. Now, Sun Jupiter in this trine, this is an earth trine. So this is something in the material plane. So I really will ask you, where is there a teacher coming in for you? Where is it time for you to invest in a teacher? Where is there, if you're thinking, I want to learn about finances, who is the one person you're going to commit to following so that you can build your material resources instead of, because the other part about it is that it can be a lot of information. So you want to be clear here with this particular transit about, yes, I'm going to say yes, and I'm going to go forward with this direction, in this direction, because this is what I've discerned that I want. This is how I've discerned I can be of service and be helpful to those around me, my community, and my world. It's also because it's that Taurus energy, again, attracted in. Okay, it's an absolutely beautiful energy. All right, now as we get to Saturday, we'll continue to feel this vibration, but Sunday brings us another void, of course, moon before the moon late afternoon moves into the energy of Leo. And I love this particular moon at this time because Venus has been working this retrograde path of Leo energy. So as the moon travels here over the next couple days, we have this fantastic opportunity for the moon to light you up in a vibration of internal understanding of your own leadership capabilities, whether it's that you're going to lead in your household, you're going to lead in your community, you're going to lead wherever and however you're going to lead. You get to say it with your chest out, because what hopefully Venus has shown us and left us in this very emotional space is that from the inside out, what you've done, what you've been through, what you've survived, especially if you can turn it into a resource for yourself or someone else, is very, very, very valuable. I absolutely love this week for us, you guys. There's a lot of good energy that is here and available to work with. There's a lot of courage, there's a lot of creativity, and there's a lot of being clear or pointing yourself in the direction of clarity. But really the way to get there this week is to look back at where you've got to win, where you've been successful so far in what you've been building. And remember, don't give up. It's not time, okay? Now, I would love to see you guys yet again in the webinar coming up September 23rd. We're going to integrate and find the sweet spot of interdependence, looking between the North Node in Aries, the South Node in Libra. Got a beautiful 36-question workbook. Sign up. It is $36, and I look forward to seeing you. And yes, of course, it will be recorded if you can't attend it live. But if you can attend it live, I would love to see you there. All right, my absolutely beautiful astrology soulmates, thank you for being with me again for another week, and I look forward to seeing you this week. We've got moon energy coming up. This is going to be very good, coming up on the 14th, so we have plenty to talk about as well. We're going to get ready for these eclipses, so we will have this workshop just in time to see how this this concept is also going to play into those eclipses, and we will also talk about it right here on this channel as well. All right, my beautiful friends, I love you a bunch, and I will see you